Hey guys, this is Camfrey15 and I'm back at it with another video for you guys, and this is another fairy tale 100-year quest manga chapter review. And man, what a freaking chapter. Holy shit. I read this chapter and I was absolutely blown away. This honestly was probably one of the better, fairy tale 100-year quest chapters here. Heck, if you want to go back to the entirety of the series, it was probably one of the best chapters, hands down, because you get our main crew of cast members get introduced to the moon dragon god Selene and her stuff and her crazy things. Her dragon transformation looks freaking crazy. We get more of the backstory of like what Selene did to make Faris come to Earthland. This was just a great chapter. And by the end of it, they're already in Elentier. So, man, this is gonna be freaking crazy. This arc is gonna be freaking crazy, man. Anyways, like I said, this came for 15. Thank you for joining. I know at this time period, right now, if you're watching the United States, you obviously know what the hell's going on right now, and it's pretty hectic and stuff like that. And all I gotta say is the fate of our freaking country, man, is coming down to this freaking election. Listen, I ain't gonna go into who I'm supporting or nothing, but I think by that one direct comment I just said kind of gives away who I kind of voted for. Anyways, I do not want, for the comment section, do not put any hate speeches or stuff like that, please. Do not get political. Anyways, we're talking about fairy tale. Let's strictly talk about fairy tale. Anyways, the manga chapter starts off with a very, can I just say, great picture of Urza. And one of the things they put in the freaking thing is saying her charms are dangerous. Oh, I know they're dangerous, because Urza is a great looking girl, and she's very aggressive when it comes to it if you piss her off. So, yeah. Anyways. We start the manga chapter off with Faris saying that Elentier has a different problem than Edelus. And she goes on to say that its magic power has expanded too much, like a volcano on the verge of eruption, and stuff like that. Now, she essentially goes on to say, for generations, my family served as priestesses who would erase Elentier's overabundant magic. And that ties into her little power of the whiteout magic, Lucy points out, and stuff like that. So essentially they use the whiteout magic to essentially kind of like, decrease the power of magic in the world of Elentier so it doesn't go haywire or go crazy, essentially. But she does say, said if the whiteout wizards from different places didn't erase magic power for several years, it is said that it would cause a great explosion in Elentier. Which sounds like, I'm guessing, the overabundance of magic would be too much for that world to handle, and I guess you could say it might as well just would collapse upon itself and destroy the world just into its entirety, just based on how much magic power it has. Now, I was watching another YouTuber do their review. They're saying, what if this thing were to happen to Earthland? Earthland's put in the same situation, which is a pretty good question to ask. What if Earthland eventually gets to the point where maybe they have an overabundance of magic? Who knows? And stuff like that. Anyways, Faris tells her little story of how she met Selene and everything. She goes on to say, one day a woman calling herself Selene asked for something of me. And you get into this flashback. And essentially you have Selene asking, hey, could you steal some of Earthland magic power, essentially, or erase some of Earthland magic power? Now Faris replies like, why would I do that? And stuff like that. And this is when Selene brings up the 5 dragon gods and stuff like that. And she even says that herself is a dragon god as well. She goes on to say, indeed, but while we are 5 dragon gods, we we dragon gods are bound together. We are not on the best of terms because, well, it makes sense that any of these same species would not like each other and stuff like that. Now, she goes on to say we are at risk and we must erase it or else. Now, Faris like, then why did you come to me for your help? And essentially says, Selene says, I traversed many worlds. So she says many worlds. So there ain't just like, oh, Earthland, Elantir, and Edelus. It seems like there's a whole multiverse of worlds, which I'm not going to say we're going to go to any other, places. But it definitely shows that there is a multiverse in the fairy tale world. There is definitely a fairy tale multiverse. Which is crazy, freaking crazy. And we don't know how many worlds there are. It's just said, Selene just says in that one comment, I've traversed to many worlds. And I'm like, oh, so that means there's multiple worlds in, I guess, this fairy tale, universe, essentially, multiverse, essentially. She goes on to say, I finally found one in this world. That has nothing, and she goes on to say, that has nothing to do with us. This is when Selene starts, well, let's just say, get devious. Now, actually, I'll talk about Selene's design at the end after I'm done. Selene goes on to say, no, it has everything to do with you. I can't rest easy as long as other dragon gods are in Earthland. And she says, if you don't kill those four, then Elantir is mine. And she gives probably one of the most creepiest looking faces a fairy tale antagonist probably has ever given. And I'm like, reading this, I'm like, so she so flipped her shit like crazy. So she's a bad dragon god. She ain't like Merrickphobia, who the water god dragon, who was really good, who was actually a dragon god that was just peaceful. So far, the other ones have all been bad and stuff like that. And you see, Faris's face in these panels, and she's just stricken with fear and stuff like that. And this is when Selene kind of like, you can see my magic power, don't you? You can see how overflowing it is, which means you can't even deny whatever I say. So you might as well go do it or I'm gonna kill you. So, Faris actually responds by saying this. And she's like, well, if you have this much magic power I'm sensing, why don't you take care of the problem yourself? And that's when Selene replies saying, well, I might just be able to kill just one of them. But other than that, it's possible that I'd probably die myself if I were to do that anyway, so yeah. She goes on to say that their powers rival each other's. And your power, and she says Faris's power is the power needed to gain the advantage and stuff like that. And that's when, Faris goes on to say that's why I eventually took over Toka's body and stuff like that. She goes on to say, like, the first thing I did was take control of the white magic cult. However, I did take in a massive amount of the white creed from the believers and spun out of control as a result and stuff like that. Then that's when she goes on to say, anyway, Selene's plan first involved wiping out Alderaan while he was building strength. That way, we can manipulate Alderaan into fighting the other dragons. And stuff like that. And that's when Wendy replies, wait, you tried to control Alderaan? And she's like, and Faris is like, yes. But, here's the but. Faris says, but as we all know, I failed. Selene told me that if all his orbs were destroyed, then Alderaan would lose his power. But we all know that when you destroyed his orbs, he was revived. And stuff like that. And we find out that Selene lied about it. And, Carla's like telling Faris, like, but why would Selene tell you that lie? And Faris is like, I have no clue why she told me that. And stuff like that. So, but we do get a funny scene where Natsu calls Selene a chick, even though, and Lucy replies by like, chick? Even though technically Selene is a chick, she is another one of them babes in the fairy tale universe. Or like, just, thick hips and big tits. You know, your typical fairy tale type of new look girls they always want to introduce and stuff like that. The rest of the gang members, they eventually talk amongst themselves, saying not knowing, you know, what her true intentions are and stuff like that. And this is when Toka asks Faris, like, is there no room for negotiation? Even though your plan failed, Alderaan was defeated anyways. And then this is when we see Selene come into the Edelus world using the skill or the move or the magic power of Aqua Era, and she is standing alongside our heroes and stuff like that. Now she goes on to say, from the very start, I never cared about Earthland or Alderaan. Well, in the translation, she calls her Aldo-chan. And she gives her typical evil like and stuff like that. And that's when, you know, Faris is like, Selene! And that's when they finally see her and stuff like that. So this is when Selene goes on to say, look, you know, I actually like Elantir a lot more than I thought I did. So I decided to live there and stuff like that, which scares the ever-living daylights out of Faris, and stuff like that. Selene goes on to say, day by day, little by little, I'm gonna kill the humans. Think about it, wouldn't that solve this whole too much magic problem? And then Faris replies by saying, then what would I do with Alderaan? And essentially, Selene is like, well, I figured out just reviving Alderaan would make boring old Earthland more interesting. So essentially, she just wanted Earthland to be in utter chaos. So that's why she wanted Alderaan to be revived. And this is when Faris said, wait, you said revive Alderaan from the start, which essentially confirms the fact that Selene definitely lied. She knew that if you broke all the orbs, he would just revive again, reawaken. She knew that, oh, he wouldn't be put in some deep slumber where you could then control him or something like that. Now Selene goes on to say, but, you know, I never thought he would actually be defeated. And she goes on to say, like, well, it seems like he was quite a weak fellow, wasn't he? And stuff like that. This is when Natsu starts to get pissed and everything. And this is when more things of Selene says this. She's like, it's no good for me unless this world is ugly and distorted. Elantir is fine. It's already full of distortion. And this is when Faris is essentially just saying, like, stop it. Please stop it. And stuff like that. Now, Selene goes on to make a mention by saying, how should I stir it up? I simply can't wait, given her crazy look. And then that's when Faris responds by saying, do not destroy our world or my world. And I guess you can say Selene does a finger pistol type of move, or I don't know, a finger pistol magic ability where it stabs Toka through her chest. And she goes on in this evil look by saying, Elantir has already been destroyed. Thank you very much. And Faris, after getting hit by this finger pistol magic attack, she collapses. Natsu goes up to try to do something about this and stuff like that. Now, Selene already knows that, oh, you're the guy that beat Alderaan. Huh. So it seems like you really are the child of Igniel, as well as you are the brother of Ignia. So yeah, now the interesting point here is you see that Natsu, now he didn't activate or didn't say like fire, dragon, iron, fist, for example. In the manga way it looks like when Natsu goes in for a punch, you can see the flames around his fist. So I wonder if it's because he's around the Aqua Era ability that he's able to use his magic abilities. So yeah. Anyways, Selene just says, just this one time, I'll play with you a little. And next thing you know, you see Selene transform into her dragon form. And my god, this one panel looked really freaking good. Another thing that was pretty interesting here is when she turned into a dragon form, the other characters mentioned the fact that it's nighttime. So I wondered, if she turns into a dragon, does that mean the whole area just turns into night because she's the moon god dragon and stuff like that? She goes on to say, let us go to Elantir. And at the same time, you see the moon in the background start to come at them and get bigger and bigger and bigger. And eventually to the point they get swallowed up by the moon. Now, after this is all over with, the only person standing in this wasteland essentially is Daedalus Wendy and stuff like that. And she hopes that they're all okay. So I think that's it of Daedalus. I think we definitely seen the last of Daedalus. So yeah, unless they somehow cut back to Daedalus to keep up with what's going on there, I think that's the last time we're going to see Daedalus for a while, if not maybe for the rest of this series and stuff like that. I did find it hilarious how Daedalus Wendy is like, you can do it, little me. And I'm like, oh, okay. I just need little Wendy to grow up a little bit bigger and look just like you so I can, I don't know, actually like have a crush on her, you know? And it doesn't feel like, I don't know, too off. Anyways, we find out that they transported to Elantir because of Selene's transportation magic and stuff like that. Now, Wendy sees Faris still hurt, but Wendy sees that Selene did not hit Faris in any vital areas, so okay, that's okay, and stuff like that. Now they're wondering where Selene went, but Happy and Carla make a mention of the fact that they're on top of a cloud and stuff like this. And that's when Faris says, we're in the world of Elantir, and yeah, they're on a cloud, so okay, you can walk in clouds here, and there are some islands around that I guess you can say look a little destroyed, or still look around, and stuff like that. And then the chapter ends off by saying, with Selene, now then, time to play, Dragon Child. And yeah, I haven't looked up when the next manga chapter is coming out, but I think, knowing as I look at my calendar, knowing our thing with the Fairy Tail manga doesn't come out for 2 weeks, so the next Fairy Tail chapter will come out November 18th, more than likely. I have to check that out. But yeah, this chapter was really good. I enjoyed reading this chapter. You definitely can see that Selene is much more devious than we thought she was. Like, she is evil. And you know, this might be, you know, one of the best antagonists, you know, dragon gods we go up against here in this arc. And it seems like Selene is a very, and I mean very strong individual that you don't want to mess with. So yeah, I guess the one other thing I can talk about is Selene's human design. God, why do they always make the hot looking ones evil? They always make the ones that are hot evil. All I gotta say is this. Selene has a very attractive design. Like, a very attractive design. You can clearly see the cleavage, like, really badly. You can clearly see that if she were to take those clothes off, you could see she's fully naked. Yeah, I do like her human design. Her dragon design looks really badass, too. And stuff like that. So, yeah, the Selene arc, I guess, is getting started here, or the Elantir arc in Fairy Tail 100-Year Quest. So yeah, man, I just want to see this. Can this just get animated? Jesus! But my prediction is, I feel like Fairy Tail 100-Year Quest will get animated. I think by Fairy Tail 100-Year Quest chapter 100, maybe Majima will come out and say, hey, there's going to be an announcement that, you know, that Fairy Tail 100-Year Quest is going to get an animated form. By, who knows, we'll make it maybe JC Staff again. I don't know. You know who knows makes it, because I feel like that would be the most appropriate time to I don't know, you know, put out their or announce the animated version of this, because I really want to see this animated. I think some of these things I'm seeing here definitely deserves to get animated. And like I said, they can always add filler, you know, episodes and stuff like that based off these spin-off stuff. Some of the spin-off, you know, like Manga chapters we had in the past of the series. But this was a good chapter. I enjoyed it a lot. And yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. So if you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on the manga chapter, your thoughts on Selene as the new antagonist of this arc, and yeah, what are you gonna expect from this world of Elentier? As well as hit the subscribe button to get more Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest manga chapter reviews. And stuff like that. As well as hit the notification button to make sure you are updated with anything I upload to the channel. So yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully you guys, and I mean this wholeheartedly, hopefully you guys, you know, in this trying times, if you're in the United States, please stay safe. Like, even after the results for this election come in, you know, please stay safe, because there will definitely be people out there that might go bonkers and might do just some crazy stuff. So please be safe out there. It is going to be very, very dangerous the next couple of days just because of this election. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna get out of here, and hopefully you guys are staying safe regardless it's the outcome of the election or because of the virus. Stay safe out there. Till then, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, guys, peace.